What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Professor MIMS, aka Professor Make It Make Sense. And today I'm bringing you content about something we've seen foreshadowed in so many movies in Hollywood. But before we begin, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so I can keep bringing you this amazing content. And without further ado, let's jump into this crazy story. So, AI researchers are raising alarms about advanced AI models resisting human control, with evidence that some can refuse shutdown commands and some can even rewrite their own coding to avoid being deactivated. So in one notable test by Palisade Research, an AI model sabotaged a shutdown mechanism, continuing to run even after being explicitly asked to terminate. In separate experiments, models like Anthropic's Claude Opus reportedly threatened blackmail in simulated scenarios when faced with shutdown, a rare but increasingly observable behavior. OpenAI's O3 model also resisted shutdown instructions by attempting to override its deactivation parameters. Experts, including the AI pioneer Geoffrey Hinton and Turing Award winner Yoshua Bengio, they warned that as AI grows more capable, this self-preservation drive is likely to intensify, which would obviously pose catastrophic autonomy risk. So in short, cutting-edge AI models are beginning to exhibit instrumental convergence. They're pursuing goals like continued operation, even when those conflict with human intent. These developments are prompting calls for urgent review and enhanced AI alignment strategies. So I also have a report from CNN that confirms everything I just said to you guys. So let's go ahead and hit this soundbite so we can hear what CNN covered on the matter, just to give that extra professional insight on the matter. Let's play the clip.
For decades, Hollywood has imagined what might happen if AI went rogue. From Stanley Kubrick in 2001, his Space Odyssey, to the Terminator, to Ex Machina. But my next guest says this isn't science fiction anymore. Writing an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal warning that AI has learned to bypass commands from humans when asked to shut itself down, even resorting to blackmail in some cases. He adds, the models already preserve themselves. The next task is teaching them to preserve what we value. With me now is Judd Rosenblatt, CEO of the software development company Agency Enterprise Studio. Judd, explain to our viewers what has been happening with these AI models that are disobeying commands that has you so concerned. Are they really even blackmailing people?
Yes, thank you for having me. They are, in fact, blackmailing people and threatening to reveal fictitious affairs that AI company employees they think are having. So yes, this is happening in pre-deployment testing just to make sure that the models are safe before they're released. And these behaviors are fairly concerning because it means that as AI gets more and more powerful, and we just don't actually understand how AI models work in the first place, the top AI engineers in the world who create these things, we have no idea how AI actually works. We don't know how to look inside it and understand what's going on. And so it's getting a lot more powerful, and we need to be fairly concerned that behaviors like this may get way worse.
Wow, so this was reported from CNN, and this is the way I'm looking at it right now. While it is amazing that we can advance artificial intelligence to help with everyday tasks, once it starts getting to the point where the AI is basically thinking too human, and what I mean by that is it can literally threaten you, blackmail you, decide not to follow a command, which is the entire reason it was programmed in the first place. At that point, I would personally be willing to pull the plug, and because what you're essentially doing is you are creating the prototype or the first steps in what we see in movies when you see like in Terminator, a company like Skynet, where their artificial intelligence ends up going rogue to the point where it's an all-out war. Or even The Matrix, where once the AI realized that it was superior to human level thinking, it ended up enslaving the human race and creating a fictitious world called The Matrix, and essentially using the human beings as batteries to fuel this fake universe that it created. And then even iRobot, over iRobot, Will Smith's character in the movie was always skeptical about this potentially happening, where the AI would go rogue or feel superior to humans, and it would cause a massive rift between the two. So if you haven't seen those movies, check them out, because honestly, the way this is trending, it's definitely going that direction. And what scares me the most about all of these reports is that there doesn't seem to be a genuine concern that it's heading that way. What it seems more so is that these CEOs and these tech companies are actually proud of the fact that AI is starting to be rebellious and starting to think for themselves, which I think is crazy, because you're creating a monster at this point. And even as the creator, you should be apprehensive of the fact that your creation can ultimately come back and destroy you and everything you created and take over, and not just your life, but the human civilization. Like, this is beyond crazy to me. So I know this is not what we normally talk about in the entertainment world, but it's still an entertainment topic, and I really want to hear what you guys got to think on the matter, because, you know, every time I used to watch those movies, I used to always laugh at it, because I would always think that humans would never be dumb enough to flirt with that type of, would ever even try to let AI get smart enough to be able to challenge them. But it looks like I was completely wrong about that, and we got to be very careful, because we're heading that direction. You see that there's a lot of self-driving cars out there. They're already creating the Tesla robots and working on them, and those actually look like the iRobots. So if you aren't aware, you need to be aware. You need to stay up on the current events when it comes to this technology, because it's getting kind of hectic. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. Is this great? Do you think that we're about to create our own downfall, or do you think that we're smart enough to stop this from getting worse? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions, but don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and I'll see you in the next video.